Hi guys, it's Daniel here, or Joe. Today's video is just I've only done like a catch-up video like 3 days ago, but today's just solely focused on epilepsy. As you mostly all know what epilepsy is, I don't really need to go into what it is. It's a brain electrical signal fault, essentially in like 5 words or less. I'm going to be talking about why I believe it's one of the most why it's a struggle for day-to-day folks who go day by day with epilepsy. So I had my last seizure on last Wednesday, so about a week ago, at work, which I would have liked it anywhere else essentially. But you get that. You can't really pick and choose where you have a seizure. I was almost to a year, not, without having another one, but again, you can't really pick and choose. The whole reason for this video and for that introduction is because I stopped taking a medication after my doctor said so, to switch from one to the other, because I was having a very adverse reaction to what I was taking. That was Keppra. For some of you out there will know what Keppra is. And for those who do, I'm sure you can agree with me that Keppra is a nasty drug. For most people, they experience something called Keprage. And Keprage is essentially a blow up at the smallest thing. A pin will drop and you go skits. That was me for the last, I was on Keppra 1,000 milligrams twice a day back in Nyngan, where I used to live. I'm thankfully not on those anymore, and I switched back down to 250 twice daily when I was put back on them last October, I think it was. So that's fine. And yeah, straight away it was a bloodbath in my mind. It was just like, screw this, screw everything. Now, mine was exacerbated by the fact I received testosterone injections for my Kalman syndrome. So it was sort of made a little bit worse, but again, can't do much about that. So yeah, Keppra was an absolute arse for me. It was just horrible. And you get to the stage of like, well, why am I even doing this anymore? Back in Nyngan, I stopped at cold turkey, had 2 seizures that very same day. So I'm like, well, let's not stop at cold turkey. This time, I am on this. It's called Vimpat. Now, when I said to the doctor, can we go off Keppra and onto something else? I was going to say, can we go on to what was it? Lyrica, or another one, like another drug. But she suggested Vimpat, lacosamide, for the fact it's not as harsh, I suppose. Well, sorry doc, for me it is. Lacosamide is making me very nauseous, very dizzy, and very forgetful. Now, I've been on this for about 2 weeks. About 3 weeks actually. Now, it's not the worst I've ever had. Tegretol was the worst. Tegretol or carbamazepine. and I'll get to this a bit later, but it really affected what sort of seizures I was having. So my kind of seizures are focal seizures, absent seizures, partial focal, which are very different, and nocturnal and tonic-clonic and myoclonic seizures. So I have like 5 different types of seizures that can be affected from anything from fatigue, stress, without not taking my tablets, bad sleep, which is fatigue, sorry, other things like that. Now I'm on a range of things, so I'm also on gabapentin. I'm on Cifrol. Now, no more. I'm also on metazapine. That's for anxiety though. I've just gone. I'm going to start tonight back on clonazepam for restless leg and also for my epilepsy, because Cifrol, which took a hike, was causing me to have very unique side effects. One of them is memory. As you can see, I'm trying to find the right words and I just can't. That is annoying as all hell because I already have a issue with memory. The biggest one is... No, I can't say the biggest one. They're all equally shit. Nausea. It's like... That with Vimpat is just like horrendous for nausea. It's like someone's put me in a windmill and just turned on the lights. It's a really bad analogy, but you know what I mean. I meant to say washing machine. The hallucinations are absolutely wacko. So I'm having visual and auditory hallucinations on Cifrol. Just before I was walking to the bathroom, and this blue light, about this big, just went across my eyes. The other one was silver on the bathroom floor. So I guess it has something to do with the bathroom, maybe. It's really annoying. Shakes. So Cifrol is used to treat Parkinson's in some patients. So it can it can give out Parkinson-like side effects. So the shaking, the memory loss, things like that. So basically, I had Parkinson type conditions whilst on Cifrol. Now I'm going back on Clonaz because they're both Pramipexole. That one is a dopamine antagonizer. This one that I'm about to go back on is a beta something, or I think it's beta something. I'm also on sodium valproate. That's been fantastic for me. That's done really well. Never had an issue with that. Never had an issue with this gabapentin. So yeah, I'm on the right concoction now. That sort of led me into what I'm sort of pissing and moaning about. Is because having epilepsy, you've got to find the right combination of drugs to treat the right condition, like to treat the right epilepsy. So, for example, if you have just myoclonic jerks, you're not going to give someone Tegretol or just on one tablet. It's going to be a couple. For my myoclonic jerks, the Cifrol, really bad. Really, really bad. I'm talking like 100 or 200 a day. So it's back to normal. without, it feels like I'm back to normal epilepsy. And for everyone's sort of grand mals or tonic clonics, again, it's just what your body is able to process. Um, Gabapentin, sodium valproate, perfect. Keppra is a no-no. Vimpat so far, I'm not liking it. I really am not. But we'll see, I guess. I'll see you back in November, I think, so I'll just bring it up then. So basically the point of that is there are different kinds of seizures that require different types of medication. Now, also, not every medication will work at all. So there's things called VNS and I think another type of surgery for epilepsy. One is to put in, I think VNS is to put in like an electronic stimulator. So whenever it notices that you're going to have a seizure or have seizure-like activity, it sort of shocks your brain into the going, no, let's not do that. It's very, very briefly, it's like a pacemaker for your brain. There's a lobectomy, where they take out part of the lobe or the full thing where the seizure is. Mainly that's held for temporal lobe seizures. Another fascinating part, and I do find it really fascinating, is that the different kind of seizures will have a different kind of an effect. So for me, if my auras, for example, which are auditory or visual hallucinations, or deja vu, something like that. Minor deja vu and auditory hallucinations when I'm going to have a seizure. It's also like, so when I had last Wednesday, I had 20 little seizures in about a minute. So the closer they are apart or together, the more that you know that you're going to have one. So I tried to tell my work team leader that I was going to have one, and basically every second word was a really quick shake, really quick convulsion before I could even speak. It was nasty. Now, just a scientific fact you probably don't need to know. Speech comes from, I believe, what's called the Broca's area or the Wernicke's area, either one of those. Those two are located in the frontal lobe. One of them controls speech. One of them controls listening and understanding of what you're listening to. So if you're multilinguist, I can't remember the word for it. If you're a multilinguist, you can speak many different languages, and you can, understand when people speak a different language. Then you have a very, very strong and active Wernicke and Broca's area. When people have temporal lobe epilepsy, they can suddenly lose the effect or lose the ability to speak and understand, because it obviously, your ears convey messages into the frontal lobe through the temporal lobe into those two different areas, and a lot more through the different canals and different muscles that they have in there. So yeah, that can also be affected when you have seizures that start in the temporal lobe. Yeah, look, essentially the whole point of this was I know a lot of people have it worse than epilepsy. They could have, cancer or tumors or MS or MND or all those other analogs and anagrams. Sorry, but I wouldn't wish epilepsy on anyone. Whether it's my JME, just juvenile myoclonic epilepsy, the tonic-clonics that I have, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. It just changes your life and day-to-day life so much. It's not very pleasant. And yeah, so as I said, it could be worse. I could have cancer. I could have all this other stuff. But I certainly don't want epilepsy anymore. I don't know what to do about it, but yeah, you get that. That was basically the brunt of this. It's been a bit pissing and moaning, but um, I feel like I feel like making people aware of what epilepsy is and how bad it is and how bad it can be is just a start on that road to awareness and empathy and sympathy for epileptics. So, yeah, if you want to know anything else, just let us know. Um, Peace out.